I don't know if this is something that's new to Gen Z or something that's been around for all of human history, but so many people have this idea in their head that their lives would be better if they just did more stuff. Whether it's working out, reading, eating healthier, practicing a skill, whatever it is, we all tell ourselves that if we could get more stuff done, we could somehow have a better life. Which, don't get it twisted, all of those things that I just said are things that we should be doing on the regular: reading, working out, eating healthy. It's just that I think the way we approach it a lot of the time is completely ass backwards
and retarded.
There's a really good saying I heard one time. I could always hear my better self coughing in the room next door. And that shit is facts. The first time I heard that, it made me stop and think, why does it always feel like the solution to whatever problem is in front of me is somewhere else, or somewhere in the future, or in some task that I could do later on? Why can't I access that better version of myself 100% of the time? And this feeling doesn't just come with big tasks either, like getting a promotion or finding your future wife. It can literally be with anything, even with something that's good for you. For me, sometimes this will happen when I'm working out. I get to this point in a workout, especially a run, where I notice myself counting down the minutes or reps until it's done. And running is so ass, but I notice myself trying to escape into this idea of the future where I've already finished the workout just to avoid focusing on the workout that I'm literally doing right now, just because it's hard. And you can call me crazy for making this comparison, but in my perspective, it's really no different than what leads to an addiction. Nobody starts off drinking or doing a drug thinking that they'll get addicted. But all it takes is two things. One, an addictive personality, and two, one good time getting destroyed with your homies. After that first time, especially if it's a really good time and you make some good memories, it won't be long before thoughts like, man, this has been here the whole time and I've just been raw dogging life, start popping up in your brain. Now, it is important to note that not everyone reaches this point. When you have an addictive personality, that can be a huge catalyst for developing an addiction. And some people hit it way quicker than other people. And if you're like me and you've got an addictive personality, this way of thinking can be a really, really slippery slope. It's really easy to see how bad it can get with someone who's a drug addict. You can ruin your whole fucking life and the lives of other people if you let that addiction control you. If you're a drug addict, you spend every moment just worrying about the next fix, and everyone sees it around you. A drug addict will spend so much time projecting themselves into the future that they'll get blinded to the shit that's right in front of them, even if someone's trying to help them, like genuinely. Again, call me crazy, but I'm sitting here asking myself, how is that any different than when I'm working out and I start bitching about the clock? I'm not present in what I'm doing at all. I start missing the whole point of why I was working out in the first place, which is to be healthy and to feel good, not to feel shitty and feel like I need to escape into my mind or some future projection of when I'm not running anymore. It's crazy because this mindset, this stupid ass grind set mindset, is embedded into almost everything we do, especially in this country. There's this attitude of do more, be more. And I think that's why you see 13-year-olds on reels talking about how they're on their grind while their friends are out partying, which again, all power to them. But these kids should not be stressing about day trading and having aura. They should be goofing off in class, getting grass stains on their pants, getting into fist fights, but instead they're out here making FOMO content and completely missing the point of life, which is to embrace it. And my bad. So far, I've just attacked kids and drug addicts, but back to my original point. It's a really huge chunk of the population that thinks like this. People spend so much time trying to get and achieve more that they ignore all the stuff that they already have, even the things that they've worked really hard to accomplish or get to. Sooner or later, everyone has to realize that that feeling I talked about earlier, that background feeling of every moment not being enough, it's always going to be there if we can't look at what we have right in front of us in this moment. Your better self is always going to be coughing in the room over if you keep wanting more shit. And everyone has different reasons for the stuff they do or want. But at the end of the day, way too many of us will sacrifice giving ourselves what we really need because we've all been psyoped into thinking we need to be some optimal human biohacking machine. Another important thing to note is the only reason I'm even making this video or can make this video is because obviously I live in the same exact reality as everyone else. I find myself stressing and doing the exact things I'm saying are wrong all of the time. And sometimes I'll be honest, it makes me really feel like shit about myself. I've known for a long time that I'm far from perfect and that there are a lot of things that I could probably be doing better or more consistently or whatever. But what I've started to learn in the past few years is that's exactly the place I need to start, with accepting the things I suck at and accepting the ways that I suck. Pause. You can't just know that you're a chud and keep running from it. If you want to shake that background feeling of not being enough, or like you're not doing enough, or like every moment isn't enough, you have to accept where you're at right now. Literally right now. You gotta start acceptance maxing. In Buddhism, there's a really big focus on the idea of surrender. Your average dookie brain will hear this and cringe at the sound of that word because at first it sounds like giving up or losing, or they'll hear Buddhism and be like, that's gay or something stupid. If you're one of those people, you can eat rocks respectfully. No, I'm kidding, but for real, the way Buddhists use this word, at least to my understanding, isn't just letting some dude kick your fucking ass and like being cool with it. It means accepting your current set of circumstances, totally surrendering to the present moment. And you might think that's dumb spiritual talk, but I swear to God, it really isn't. Look at the history of Buddhists. They have been persecuted and killed literally for centuries. These weren't guys who just went out into the mountain valley and were on their namaste shit all day. They were constantly fighting for their survival, especially those motherfuckers living in Tibet. I don't know how the fuck people could survive up there, more or less preserve a culture for hundreds of years, but I think it's really important to look at that stuff because even though these people have a history of being hunted and tortured, they still come around to saying things like accept your circumstances, surrender to the present moment. These guys objectively had it so much worse than I will ever experience or most Americans will ever experience, and we still bitch to ourselves about trying a little harder on our 5Ks. That sounds a little harsh, but I'm not saying anyone here, myself included, is a fuck up for being the little brain rotted Gerbers we are. Rich people have literally designed it to be that way. But again, another topic for another video. Regardless of what you are doing, whether it's fighting off invaders from your mountain village or trying to stop hitting the pendulum so much, the method has stayed the same, and it's acceptance maxing. It's bringing yourself back to the present moment and being okay with where you're at right now. If you can't bring yourself to be cool with just sitting in your own body with the feelings you have without any added stimulus, if you're always looking for a way to escape or to improve, then you're gonna miss all of the good shit in life. And honestly, if you can't really observe yourself in your current state, then you're basically like operating blind. How can you make any good plays when you don't even know where you're operating from? You don't even know what your skill set is. I'm gonna wrap this one up now, but I want to leave it off on one thing, which I'll definitely be making another video on. But a really important aspect of practicing acceptance is also practicing being in the moment, because when you think about it, what else really matters outside of what's happening right now? Where else can you have any kind of influence that isn't in this present moment? You've never had control over anything in the past or the future, because the only time something can ever happen or ever could happen or ever will happen is only right now. So why concern yourself with anything else? And for some of us, the idea of accepting where we're at can be truly terrifying. Like, I'm no saint, A lot of the times it's hard to accept that I'm bad at things or that I could be better. You get what I mean. That fear is only going to grow worse if you can't face it. So now we're back to acceptance. They're really just the same thing in a weird way. But yeah, stop resisting what's going on and start acceptance maxing.